There are comments today that really used to get me annoyed back in the day, but now they just make me laugh. And the typical one I heard yesterday was a topic around how, they miss the good old days of real men and why aren't men like our grandfathers, and men need to just stop being pussies. And I was having this discussion with a couple of males and females in a social setting, and I think my kind of laughing reaction really stood out for them. And I just laughed and said to them, your problem is you're asking why men have stopped chasing, why men have stopped trying, why men have slowed down, why are they lazier, why are they given up, why they just don't care. And I laughed, and they didn't understand why I was laughing. I think in their eyes, I should have the opposite reaction. I should sort of feel embarrassed. It was like a psychotic response in terms of me, Why am I laughing like a maniac? This is a serious problem. I looked at them and saying, you don't really care about the answer. You're not asking a question. You're not really asking us and listening to why we aren't. You're demanding, why don't you? Why aren't you? I'm annoyed at the reasons why you're not, and I don't care about your reasons. Why aren't you doing it? I said, well, what's the incentive? And they kind of scratch their heads, typically, as though, we're great. We're Ferraris. Why wouldn't you want a Ferrari? And I basically said, look, you want these old-fashioned men who'd throw coats on puddles for you to walk all over and save you from burning buildings and, get on one knee and marry you and all this kind of stuff. You're looking to the past and wanting that standard of men. But if we look to the past, which we don't, and that's your problem, we're not looking to the past and saying, why can't women be like my grandmother? I think the majority of men aren't really living in the past, aren't wishing fancifully for that past woman. They're adjusting to what you clearly are now. And I'm sure most of the women around the table kind of thought, what do you mean I'm a great woman? Yeah, to yourself, to your friends, in whatever way you're scripting it in your head. But if we're the ones that need to want you, and think of it this way, I said, imagine you're a restaurant and no one's coming to your restaurant. There's no point saying to men, love me, asshole. It's the fault of the customer that they're not frequenting my establishment. Now, what's wrong with customers? Typically, a restaurant will adjust to survive, but I don't know. I just don't get the mentality. Guys have adjusted to women. Women have changed, equal and opposite reaction and all that kind of stuff. Women have now sort of moved forward with modernity and, careers, and adjusted when or even if they want to have children. And men have adjusted along with them. And this central notion of men have stopped chasing, and it's not just women, it's everything. Men have slowed down, they've stopped trying. And I'm not saying they shouldn't. And I was reflecting this to what could loosely be called ladies around the table. I was saying, okay, what's the incentive for us to give you all of this old-fashioned stuff that you dearly want, yet that woman for us is dead? She's no longer here. You're all modern women, so we don't get the old-fashioned woman. What do we get for acting like the classic romantic man? And they didn't get it, because I think the notion is, well, we're enough. What do you mean we're perfect? It's you guys that have dropped the ball. It's like, no, you don't get it. You still don't see us as part of the equation in a relationship. Your attitude is, why aren't men stepping up anymore? But I told them, you don't see the fact that we want something out of this too. And the immediate reaction is disgust from them. I saw it was like, oh my God, what do you want out of this? Our bodies? It's like, obviously not. Men are trying less and less. We want it less and less. We're chasing you less and less. So I would put on you ladies, instead of shaming men as to why won't we ... fill in the blank, really look at why aren't men chasing? Why don't men want you anymore? Why don't men want you anymore like our grandfathers did? You can't be like a bunch of diva celebrities saying, buy my album, watch my movie, asshole, and then wonder why your fans don't love you. Your fans aren't idiots. Most adult fans that would want you, ladies, don't appreciate being disrespected and then being asked why you don't love the person disrespecting you. So the questions of who hurt you, what's wrong with men, where are all the good men, they're not questions as much as demands and statements. There's no real question marks after those statements. They're really entitled demands. And I tried to convey these to these women, and they really found it kind of odd. And some of them were actually smirking as, I can't believe this guy's actually got the balls to actually demand something or think that we should offer something in this equation. Yeah. Why aren't men chasing? I mean, for us, it's pretty self-evident, but I just found it amazing in a conversation still. And I know that women are pummeled with this marketing that they're perfect, they're great, they can have everything, and they'll continue to think and feel this because they don't really have consequences to being grounded in reality. I mean, the way I see it is, for decades now, women have stopped caring about men much more than their nature typically dictates. So men have adjusted and cared less about women. I really don't see the mystery. Yeah, men chase for short-term stuff, but a man's not that dumb who's got half a head on his shoulders. He's not going to invest in the long term in somebody that at best laughs at him and at worst hates him and blames him for everything. Yeah, for men today, it's frankly embarrassing to chase women given their attitude towards him. It's self-abasing. You don't get the respect of men, you don't get the respect of women. So I think it's quite natural that men have stopped being romantic and chasing women and being that kind of old-fashioned man. Why aren't men chasing? Indeed, ladies. Ask yourselves, why aren't men chasing? Stop asking us. Because men are the ones who have to ask you, who have to chase you, who have to want you. If no one's coming to your restaurant, there's no point blaming the customers when nobody's walking through the door. I was just pondering this in the ridiculous discussion I had the other day. Anyway, talk to you later.